Good morning. We're going to be talking about what we can do to actually search through the Java linear data structure so we can find information inside that. We're going to be looking at both lists and arrays, and we're going to be going over and taking a look at how we can do this. As you can see, we're going to be looking at as you can see, we're going to be looking at how we can search for int or Boolean values, how we can search for double values, and how we can search for objects, and why these three are organized in the way they are. So we've got some different things we have to do when we're looking for or searching inside a linear data structure for these types of values. As you can see also right here, we have a quick little method we're using to demonstrate this. It's a private Boolean method. It returns either true or false based on if we find it or not. And it's called check contents. It takes as a set of parameters, it takes an int array named nums and an int named search because we're searching this int array for a value. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Inside this array, we're going to start off with standard for loop just because it's a quick, nice demo to start off with. And so for index is equal to 0 or z, index is less than nums.length because we want to go through and up to and the end. And we notice again, because it's an array, we don't have any parens right here because it's not a method. And index goes up by 1 each time. So we're going to go iterate over every single step inside that array. We're going to look at every single spot or element inside the array to check to see if it's in there. Now, because I'm using an int, I'm going to use nums subindex and equals the search parameter. So right here, I'm using the idea that I'm searching for this. And because I'm using an int, I can use the equals type. The equals operator allows us to say if the thing on the left is the exact same as the thing on the right. And so when I'm talking about a num, is 7 the same as 7? Is 14 the same as 14? Is negative 4006 the same as negative 4006? Okay, that works great. And that's a wonderful thing. We can use that anytime we want to with an int. Or, I mean, if we're looking for a Boolean, is this one true or false? I know, not really a good one to actually search for that. But I can use that for a Boolean array as well. And if that is, they'll return true. If I make it all the way through that for loop without actually finding it, however, I'm going to return false because I never actually found that value. And so this is early return right here. It only returns if and exactly if I make it through and I have a match on index and search. So if num subindex matches the value I'm searching for, I'm good, I leave them out. And so again, I'm searching for an int. I use the equals operator to go through and search that. The same thing could be changed if I wanted to use this with an array list. And so let's take a look at that right now. So if I'm using an array list, of course we have to change our parameter right here. And so you'll notice inside my header, I changed my parameter. Instead of it being an array of ints, it's an array list of capital I integer. So I use the angle brackets integer as the wrapper class to hold that. I'm keeping the same name nums just to make it easy. And again, I'm passing that search parameter right there. And again, if I were to use this to actually search through this using a standard for loop, I'll start off again for int index is equal to 0. Index is less than nums, but I'll change that to dot size because again, when I'm using an array list, I have a method I call to retrieve how big it is. And this is the dot size method and the standard index plus plus. Now, the change here though, even though it's an array list of integer types, because of the magic of Java boxing and auto boxing and auto unboxing, I don't have to extract out the int value from that wrapper integer class that's holding it. Nums.getIndex gives me an integer value, capital I, a big object. However, because of Java's auto boxing and auto unboxing power, it can take that object, its wrapper class, and automatically get the int value out of that. So I don't have to do anything special when I try and ask a comparison against search. So I can use that object comparison against that with equals for the integer type, capital I, gang sign wrapper class. So we can use that to actually go that. Again, the same return true or false right there. So I can use that within this. And again, I'm using a standard for loop for that quick little demo. Let's change this to using a for each loop or enhanced for loop and do that same thing. So let's go ahead and let's change this to using a for each loop, even still using that array list of capital I integer nums, because again, we have to use a wrapper class when we're using an array list of type. And so we have int search. Now notice when I'm using a for each loop, because of the magic power of Java unboxing and auto unboxing and Java because of the amazing power of Java because of the amazing power of Java's auto boxing and auto unboxing, I can even take that auto unboxing directly into the for each loop right here. So for int num : nums. So I can auto unbox it right there inside the actual for each loop or enhanced for loop, immediately extracting out the int values of that array list of integer type. And if num equals search, then I can return true or return false at the end if I don't have that match. So I can use an array list and equals of integer types or an array of int or an array of int or an array of integer capital I. And I can use that equals operator because the equals operator works really well if and only if I'm working with ints or Boolean values. So let's go ahead and take a quick review. Again, I'm searching for an array list. I want to search inside that, or if I search an array, if I'm looking with the int type, I use the equals operator. I compare if the left and right are the same. If they match, I'm good, I'm done, I return true, and I'm out. And so that's what I'm doing when I'm searching through an array or an array list of int or integer type values. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that again in the next video, and we'll see how we can work with that with a double value, another primitive.